What's going on, guys? Tool Cruise here, and today we're checking out the brand new action camera from Insta360. This is the Ace Pro 2, and this is the upgrade to the previous edition, the Ace Pro. There's some big upgrades in this camera, and we're going to be testing it out in today's video, doing some different action shots. So we're going to have a bunch of different test footage to show you guys what it's looking like, and we're going to be testing it, doing some walking tests, also doing some tests on the bike. I got my cycling kit on, so ready to go. Beautiful fall day here. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the review. So this is the new box here, and one of the first things you'll notice is this is an 8K action camera. That's way more than we need. For all of our videos on YouTube, we only upload in 4K, but it is nice to have that extra resolution to give you more pixels to work with and edit your video and just have that extra crisp data if you want to zoom in. That is crazy that action cameras are now up to 8K. So here's the full box and some of the key specs. We got a 1/1.3 inch sensor, a dual AI chip for better image quality. It still has the flip out screen, so this is a 2.5 inch flip out screen. Another new upgrade is the wider angle lens, so you can go up to 157 degrees for the wide angle now. And here's a quick side-by-side. We got the original Ace Pro on the left and the Ace Pro 2 on the right. So for the most part, they look pretty similar. One of the things that will really stand out though is the wind guard that you see under the lens. That really stands out. So I'm curious to test out the audio quality to see if we got some improvements with that. And let's look over to the side. The other nice thing they did with the Ace Pro 2 is they made the lens cover removable. So now you can interchange that with all the different ND filter kits and everything. So that was a big request that a lot of people were asking for with the original Ace Pro. So it's really cool to see that they did that with the upgraded version here. You'll also notice that the door style here is a little bit different, so a little bit easier to open now. And on the other side, they did change the latch for opening up the battery door. It also looks like the front screen display is a little bit different on the Ace Pro 2. And overall, the size is pretty similar between the two. So this new wind guard here definitely stands out compared to the previous edition. I'm really excited to test out that audio quality today. And let's take a look at the rear screen. So that just flips up like the previous edition. At first, when I saw this feature in the previous edition, I didn't think it would be that great, but the more and more I use it, the more and more I tend to rely on it, and I'm really glad that it's there. It's really helpful while filming a lot of my videos. So for the first video test, I'm gonna do a walking stick. One of my favorite features with this camera is the magnetic mount in the bottoms. So I've got these magnetic adapters on all my accessories here, so I can quickly transition to each of my mounts. This just snaps into place like that, and we're ready to go. All right, and here we are filming our first video test with the Ace Pro 2. I'm filming in 4K 60 frames per second in the linear mode, so this is the most narrow mode. We'll be doing some samples with the different widths, but this is the most narrow mode, so it looks the most natural, but it doesn't get as much in the shot as you would with other shots. So I'm actually here by this lake today to get some nice shots. We have some beautiful weather right now as we enter the fall season in Michigan. We had some cold days last week, but we're getting some really warm weather right now, and I'm really loving it. So we got some nice sunlight. You can see action cameras always look really great in the sunlight, and when we turn around, we get the sun directly behind us. So we still get some pretty good lighting, even when you get that backlighting right there. So stability with this should be on point. It was really good with the last edition, and we've been really loving our original Ace Pro, the Ace Pro 1. So high expectations for the Ace Pro 2. Let's switch to another lens profile now. So for reference, this is my current size. All right, and here we are, we're in the next wider lens. So this is the Ultra, and I'm just gonna stay in the same position so you can see all the changes as I change between these different lens sizes. We still got one more to go, so we're gonna go a little wider now. And here we are in the widest setting. This is the action setting. So I can already tell this is really cool having the preview screen right in front of me because it's a touchscreen menu, so I can change all these lens profiles and see exactly what it looks like, which I never thought I'd want this feature in an action camera, but now that I have it, I don't think I can go back. So yeah, just looking in the preview screen, I can tell you're seeing so much more in the shots behind me. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like this new ultra wide action lens profile? If I remember correctly, it's 157 degrees, which is crazy. So yeah, we don't have too much sunlight left for the day, and I want to enjoy this warm weather while I can. So next we're going to be doing some tests on the bike and see how this handles. This is the bike I'm going to be riding today. And I just did a review on this new Insta360 accessory. This is their new handlebar mount, which can mount the cycle computer And it also has two different mounts for action cameras. So we can point it here facing towards ourselves, and we can also mount it down here on the bottom and get that traditional action camera under the handlebars style mount. So let's go ahead and start the cycling test. So here we are starting our on the bike test, and we're starting here with the chest mount. The chest mount is one of my favorite go-to mount options. So right now we're in the linear lens. This is the most narrow lens. Let's get off this busy road. Let's get on some dirt roads. So with this more narrow lens, you won't be able to see too much in the shot. Let's stop real quick and I'll change it to the wider lens. So this way you can see the big jump between the most narrow lens option and the widest lens option. It should be pretty crazy, the difference between the two. So we're getting a little mixed shade and sunlight on this road, just from all the trees in this area. So we should see how the camera adapts in between the bright sunlight, which is going to perform great, and also in the low light situations. The camera also does have a low light mode, which I want to test out later, but that's a dedicated mode, so we got to turn that one on when it starts to get a little bit darker, closer to sunset. We'll check that out. But let me know in the comments, which one do you prefer? Do you like the more narrow lens, the linear, or do you like the wider lens? This one is called Action. I am pretty curious to see how wide this makes my arms look, but yeah, let's see. We're out of the saddle right now, moving around. Just beautiful, beautiful weather right now with all the fall colors and everything. I've actually been struggling a little bit the last few weeks just to get my rides in, just because I have a lot of housework I need to finish before winter comes and it's starting to get a bit colder. I've been procrastinating with some of the projects, so I've been trying to dedicate more time to that, but that means less time for riding. And man, this is the best time of the year to ride. Beautiful weather, especially these. We're still getting a few 70+ degree days or over 20 degrees Celsius, which I am super happy for. We're doing a gloveless short sleeve ride today. Let's get my arms out of the shot, so should look a little bit nicer this way. All right, and next we're gonna do some on bike mount tests. So we've got the camera mounted here on the bottom of the Insta360 handlebar mount. So this is really nice to be able to check the shot. You can see in the previous screen that the top part of this mount is actually showing in the shot, and that's telling me that I need to lower the angle of the camera so that I can get a much cleaner shot. So that's one of the main advantages of that preview screen. Okay, we're starting the handlebar mount test. We're still filming in the action lens, so we're still in the widest lens profile. Just wanted to keep it consistent with the last shot, so you can just compare it that way, and we'll transition to the more narrow lens so you can see both. But I think this type of lens is really good for these types of shots, just because you get all the beautiful scenery in both sides, showing the foliage, all the different autumn leaf colors. But the nice thing about going to the more narrow profile is you do get that more detail, whereas the wide one sometimes just stretches things out a little bit. You don't see as much detail. The other bad thing with the on-bike mounts is usually the bikes will absorb more vibrations, but I'm on my gravel bike today, so actually that should be less of a problem, because the thicker tires will help absorb all those bumps. And as you can see, the dirt roads here are very smooth, actually smoother than a lot of the paved roads here. We're turning right here. Let's see how does it do on these bumps. Those are some rough bumps though, so I don't have too high of expectations for the stabilization in that. Just look at how beautiful it is. We got all the greens, the yellows, the oranges, a little bit of red here. Okay, and I just changed the lens profile. We're back on linear, so we're back on the most narrow one. I wanted to do that while we're still on this road, so you could get a clear comparison. The road is starting to get a little bit more narrow here. We got some more trees closer to the road, but we're starting to get some canopy here, so I wanted to switch to the more narrow lens so you can hopefully see the more detail in all these different leaves. It is gorgeous out right now, and one of my favorite things with this magnetic mount is we can just sort of stop here, and if there's something I want to see, I can just undo that magnetic clip, quickly grab the camera, show you guys all these beautiful leaves, and it's just gorgeous out today. Loving this weather, loving the scenery. And then I can pop the camera back in the mount and be on with my ride. Love that magnetic feature. It's been a game changer, especially since it's directly on the camera. You don't need any extra cases or anything. This is by far one of the best things about the area that we moved to here in the US, is just having all these dirt roads, all these canopy roads. They're great in the summer because you can escape the heat with the shade, and they're also great in the winter because the trees help block the wind. So all around, great place to ride. Not the greatest place to film just because of all the shade, unfortunately taking away the sunlight. When you film with action cameras, you generally want to film with as much sunlight as possible, but I don't know, these action cameras, the quality just keeps getting better. With the increasing sensor sizes, they're doing even better in the low light. And here we go, we got some red. I'll try and make a turn so you can see. That's the disadvantage of the handlebar mount, is it only points in the direction that your handlebars are pointed. But hopefully you can see all these beautiful, oh my goodness. We got all the colors on those trees. All right, and for our last cycling test, we're gonna be mounting the camera in the front of the handlebar mount and facing it backwards towards us. We should get a pretty cool profile with this one. And the really nice thing with this one is we can see the preview screen directly, so we know exactly what we're filming. All right, this is kind of goofy. I can see myself filming directly, but here we are. We're in the linear profile, and let's get started, see how this does. Unfortunately, the direction I'm going right now, we got the sun directly behind us, so we got a little bit of bad backlighting. I think this is a pretty cool profile to mix in here every once in a while, especially good during like climbs. I'm climbing right now, so my speed is a lot slower, and I can do this more comfortably. I can check the screen. Just gives a nice other perspective rather than just showing what's in front of you or showing your arms all the time. And let's see, we can zoom on this actually. So there we go, we get a zoom profile, but yeah, backlighting is not very good right now. We can change the angle, so I don't know. That looks a little better actually. The 2x zoom actually looking pretty decent, but I'm on a really bumpy road right now, so probably not a good idea on the bumpy roads. All right, so this should be a lot better. We're back on some smooth pavement, and we've got the sun directly in front of us, so we should get some better lighting. I changed the angle. We're in the widest mode right now, so you can see a lot more of my body. I'll adjust the angle so you can see my legs. You can see some not so pretty parts, and yeah, I think if I'm filming in this mode, I'd rather film in the more linear, but the nice thing about this is you can see a lot more if something happens behind you. Let's try the zoom on here too. Let's adjust the angle. So yeah, it's looking really good on the preview screen. I'm curious to see what this looks like on the bigger screen. The cool thing with the zoom on this camera is supposedly you don't lose any quality. So yeah, it's looking really crisp actually. This looks really cool. But when you're filming with the zoom, the stabilization is going to be more delicate, so it really would only work on smoother pavement roads like this, and we're really lucky this road is actually freshly paved. So I'm actually riding a slightly different loop than I normally do. There's a store that I want to stop by. I'm doing some Christmas shopping. The other cool thing with this mount is I can quickly flip the camera around so it's going the other way. All right, that was a pretty successful trip to Dollar General. So my new hobby actually is collecting Pokemon cards. It's something I did a lot as a kid, and moving back here to the US, some of my friends are really into it now. They convinced me to start. So I'm just starting right now, not getting too crazy into it, but it's a fun thing, nostalgic, fun thing to do with my friends. So long story short, Dollar General has a pretty good deal right now, 25% off of toys, which includes some of the Pokemon card boxes, and figured I'd hunt for them while I'm doing some rides. I live in the countryside. We got lots of Dollar Generals here. So I got some cool boxes and they're in the backpack right now. So let's do a slow motion test. This camera films 4K, 120 frames per second. Let's try slowing it down. All right, so starting to wrap up today's ride, and the last part of the test, we're gonna test the audio and also the low light video. I believe the low light video mode is called pure video, so that's what we're filming on now. And also this is the natural audio from the camera. I'm not using my external mic anymore, so this should sound really good in this kind of situation where there's really not much wind. And the light on the previous screen actually looks really good. When I was filming in the normal video mode, it looked a little bit darker and definitely is looking a lot more vibrant and bright here. As you can see, we really don't have the sun's not really in the sky anymore. It's behind these trees, so we're just in shade right now. And yeah, it's looking really bright, looking really good. So I've still got a little bit of ways to go to get home, and man, this heavy backpack is starting to kill me. It reminds me of my old bike commuting days where I used to bike commute 2 hours every day carrying a heavy backpack. And before we go, I want to say a special thank you to Insta360 for helping support our channel as always and sending this camera over early to us for us to review. We love testing the Insta360 cameras and we've been using them for the last few years. They've really upped their game in terms of quality. And we actually have a big special announcement to make, and that is we are officially partnering with Insta360 as our main exclusive action camera on the channel moving forward. We've been using their stuff for years. Like I said, we filmed a bunch of review videos for them already, and I can honestly say now that their cameras have reached a level of quality that we're comfortable with using them in all different situations. One of the things I really love about Insta360 is their support for cyclists. All the other action cameras on the market, they really don't do anything for cyclists. They don't make any special accessories, and Insta360 just keeps innovating. They keep making new products. They have a bunch of unique cameras and unique mounts for cyclists. I mean, one of those examples is right here. We got the handlebar mount here, and this thing is just super useful and practical for filming these kinds of videos and getting different angles and switching it around. And yeah, every year they're just announcing new accessories specifically for cyclists, and no other action camera is doing that. So we love working with Insta360. We're proud to announce our partnership with them moving forward. We're going to be making our new custom Tool Cruise cycling jersey in the very near future, which is going to be Insta360 themed. We're thinking to go black and yellow, so if that's something you're interested in, leave a comment down below and we'll get you on the waiting list for that. We'll make a special announcement when it happens though. But anyway, I got to continue my ride and get home before it gets too dark. Special thanks to Insta360 again, and if you're interested in the Ace Pro 2, getting one for yourself, we got an affiliate link down below. If you purchase with the link, you'll get the best deal, and it also helps support our channel. So thanks as always for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.